Welcome to my forever world, where I spend 100 days to complete a project, and for this video, I'll be spending another 100 days to build an epic lumberyard. This is Forever 100. Alright everybody, here we are in my forever world. I have resetted my day to day 1. Now we have another 100 days to complete a new project, and I decided that instead of abandoning our starter area, our original home, I want to add more things. Although to kind of entertain myself, I don't think I'm gonna build on this side. I will be using the houses and buildings on this side, but I think to make it look a little bit more interesting, we are gonna expand our village and put it over there. So what we're gonna do is perhaps build more residential homes over here, maybe some businesses. I definitely want to build a lumberyard and some sort of mine shaft, because if we go all the way over here, I've already kind of made a path. We have a cave, a ravine that leads down to bedrock level, the deep slate level, and this is where I do most of my mining. So I definitely want to kind of remodel this area to make it look a lot better, and also make it easier for us to go down there, because we have to like go up this waterfall every single time, and that is a very big pain in the butt. So yeah, what we're gonna do is start construction on this side, but I'm gonna do a little bit of tree chopping and a little bit of terraforming to make it easier. And then while I'm doing that, I'm gonna do some brainstorming on what is the first structure that we want to create. So what I've done here is I've chopped down all the trees and flattened the top of this little hill a little bit more. The problem is that we're gonna need quite a lot of wood, because what I want to build up here is a lumber yard. I think it would look absolutely fantastic, and I think it'll kind of add some life to this area. And I want to kind of build some buildings near the water here and have a water wheel building with the water wheel, so that way it kind of looks like the water wheel is doing the job of cutting the logs and turning them into planks. So we're gonna do that, and then up here I'm also growing some trees in the meantime that we can harvest. So while that is growing, I'm gonna kind of work on building the path and kind of moving this hill a little bit back, because I think it's making this look very crowded and very narrow. So if we want it to look a little better, I think we're gonna have to do a bit of terraforming here, and then we're gonna build a path leading up to this section, and hopefully by then I should have a little bit more wood. So okay, so I've added this path here and changed the terrain a little bit to make it look a lot more round and smoother, look a lot more natural, I guess you could say. And I've also did a bit of enchanting. I got this diamond axe that has nothing but Unbreaking 3 on it, and it kind of sucks. So I've been like enchanting some books to try to get efficiency, and also try to enchant my diamond shovel as well. But right now, since this is done for the most part, I am gonna chop down all these trees, and I hope that we should have enough wood by then to get started on building our beautiful lumberyard. So I got about 2-3 stacks of wood, but we do have a little bit left over, and I think that should be enough. So I'm gonna bring a couple of chests with us to store our stuff away, and get started on building our lumberyard. Well, what I did here was a whole ton of terraforming, a lot of digging, lots of curving the path up here, and it looks a whole lot better now. Let me go into free camp so I can kind of show you. It looks like this. It looks there's still a couple of stuff that we could definitely work on, like this corner over here. but I don't want to worry too much about that. But yeah, now we have a lot of space to work with, and here is where we're going to put our lumberyard and our tree farm. So one building I want to create is to house our trees, so that way we can chop them down much easier. And then another structure is to put our logs in, to work almost kind of like another storage unit where we just put a bunch of trees and logs and wood inside of. So the first building we're going to work on is the tree farm itself. I think I'm going to add it over here. I think I'm going to add a large rectangular building over here that will house the tree farm inside of it. And then maybe we can have a lumber yard or storage unit that fills up this section over here. And yeah, it's time to get working on that. Okay, so this is the tree farm. It's very different from what I imagined in my head, because I just started building, and then I thought that it would be really cool to have an open concept with these arches and these gates like this. And then it just became a big rectangular structure that has a very unique look to it, I'll say. It's got a bunch of lanterns up there to give it a lot of light. I want it to have a, you know, an airy feeling to it. Not eerie, but airy. Yeah, it's got a lot of openings, a lot of sunlight to come in here, and it's got a roof too, because I don't want the trees to get so tall. I kind of want them to, you know, bunch up together like this, so that way it's easier to just chop them all down in one go. But I think this is like probably one of the most unique tree farms I've ever built in a very long time. Like I especially like the roof. Now let me go into free cam mode so I can show you guys. As you can see, it's kind of got an opening to it. It's like almost like you lift up the roof and you add these structural pillars to it to make sure that it doesn't fall down, and so that way there's like enough breeze to go in there. And I like to imagine that birds like to you know, build nests up there and stuff like that. So this is the tree farm so far. I was trying to go for a realistic build, but then, like I said, I just started building, and then this is what I came up with. So I'm like quite proud of, you know, how it turned out. So now the next thing that we need to do is build a warehouse for us to you know, chop the logs and put the trees in there and store them away. And like I said, I think a good spot would be in this section right here, because it's quite empty. And I definitely want to show a process of, you know, the logs being cut up, and we even have a stone cutter here. So this thing will definitely help show, you know, what the whole process looks like. So I'm gonna get started on that. All right, so this is what we have of the, you know, the storage house for our wood. As you can see, I've added these stone cutters who look like saws, cutting it up, and it's currently in the process of turning the logs into planks or into shoulder logs and into pressure plates and stuff like that. So we have 3 of them running all at the same time, and the workers come over here, they all push down, and it all empties out into here. And then we have an extra set of logs and more lumber over here. And then up this ladder, we have a wooden pallet. We have a wooden pallet of just wooden planks and whatnot. And some barrels here for storage. And then we have kind of like an office area. I don't know. I guess this is more like a area where they store their records and paperwork, you know, just annoying paperwork. So with that out of the way, I definitely want to add a bit more details to the outside to make it look a lot more lively, because it looks kind of bland right now. So we are going to get to chopping these trees, because as you can see, like a majority of them have grown, and they've even like started to protrude out of the tree farm. So we're gonna do a bit of tree chopping and then a little bit of detailing around the area, and we'll be right back. Well, this is what we have so far. Let me go through what I have added to give the place a little bit more life. There's plenty more to add, but here, these are what I would like to imagine as wooden planks. As you can see, they kind of stick out. They have gaps in between. There are different heights and stuff like that, so that way it looks kind of realistic-ish. And then we've added these carts so that way we can pull the resources out of the sawmill. And we have some more log piles. And my favorite is this giant log, I don't know, storage thing, I guess you could say. But yeah, it's a ginormous cube. And if we go into free cam, this is what it looks like so far. It's been taking a while because you know, I'm just thinking of stuff on the fly, and because of that, it's a bit of a journey for us to build everything. But I think that I was looking at the shoreline over here, and I think we have enough space just to like do a little bit of terraforming to give us some room over here. Either that, or we'll probably touch up the edges over here. And then I definitely want to add one more of these because it looks so good. Like if we were to take a screenshot from right here, oh my gosh, it looks like an actual thing. Like I've driven past some of these, you know, log storage thingamajiggies a few times in real life, and this is kind of what I see what they do. Like they have all these support columns and pillars, and they just stuff it to the brim with these logs. And typically these logs are used for like you know, log cabins or whatever, you know, people buy it for. But I definitely want to add another one. I probably like remove this section here and then add one, but this time we're going to add these wooden planks because I like to imagine that there's a bunch of long boards, you know, long wooden planks and boards that are stacked up there. So that is one thing that I definitely want to do. And the next thing, like I said, is to do a bit of terraforming, and let's see if I can think of any other buildings or structures that we can add to make the place look even better. All right, so I've done so much terraforming. I think I'm good for now until I have to do it again. But I've added a bunch of these structures here. This is where we're gonna put our logs and our wooden planks and all that jazz. I definitely want to add some birch logs in here, so that way, you know, it looks like we have some variety going on. But the big problem is that this tree farm isn't producing a lot of trees. It probably produces max like 4 stacks if we're lucky. It's a little too small, but you know, I think it'll be all right if we build another one just like this, but instead we place it behind it over here. You know, I think there's enough land here for us to kind of clear out, and we can get a bunch of logs along the way too. So yeah, I am gonna really expand this lumberyard lumber mill. I'm really liking how it's coming along so far. Like if we go like this, oh man, look at that. I did so much terraforming. It looks so much smoother and so much cleaner than it did, you know, at the beginning. So we're gonna add, you know, some more warehouses and a couple more, another tree farm, and maybe this one we'll put birch logs in there because I want to put it into one of these pallets over here. So we are going to get started on our second tree farm. Man, oh man, is our lumberyard looking so good, guys. I don't know, but as we are slowly adding new structures and stuff to this place, it's starting to look way more atmospheric. So what I did here was I changed the roof. All right, I changed it from deep slate to just andesite and stone bricks, and I think that matches the style that we're going for a whole lot better. Okay, and then we added this path, this cute little path to here, the birch tree farm. And look, we already got a couple of birch trees going. I've moved the logs and placed them over here instead. But now we just gotta wait for the trees to grow. I think there's still a couple of tree saplings in there that I've yet to grow. And one thing I noticed was that the grass was spreading in here, which was very surprising because I don't even know how that happened, but it looked really good. There's like a good contrast to the gray and the oak slab. So what I did was I managed to get the grass to spread in here. So I hope that it will continue to spread. The next thing we need to do, guys, is a very boring and tedious process. Oh, one thing I also haven't shown is this. This is our temporary lava fuel farm. We got one source of lava there right now. So I'm hoping that we can get another bucket or two and smelt our stuff. But that will be very important because we have to AFK and mine away. Yeah, there's not a lot of cobblestone left that we have. So I definitely want to get that down. If either cobblestone or silk touch would probably be the best. If I can get silk touch, I don't have to smelt it. Efficiency 4. That's not too bad, but I'm only level 28. So for now, we will make a new pickaxe and then get ourselves a couple stacks of cobblestone. So I'm gonna go AFK for a little bit and I will be right back. Are you guys ready to see all the stuff we've added? It took a very long time, but here is the storage sections for our logs, our oak logs, our birch logs. We have these scaffoldings where they bring up the logs to the top and fill them up. And then we have the little alleyways that lead to the planks over here. These are, you know, I imagine these as like boards, like sets of boards that are stacked on top of each other. But yeah, that is our little storage section for our wood. Now, there's this empty space here, and I think it'll look really good if we add some sort of like office or something over here. I feel like an office would exist at the back over here. So what I'm gonna do is check see if we have enough materials. If not, I'm gonna have to go and do some mining. I also got a wandering trader. He doesn't have much, so I don't really want to give him too much screen time. But yeah, we're gonna check if we have enough materials, and then we're gonna build a office where, you know, they leave most of their paperwork or their records and all that jazz. Alrighty, so I have finally completed our little office over here. Going through this alleyway, we arrive at the office. It looks kind of like a suburban home, if I'm going to be honest. But outside here, we have a little workshop area. This is where I imagine a repairman fixes a lot of the tools and you know, equipment and whatnot. So we have like a workstation here, a saw to cut some logs to dump into this bucket to carry away, some more storage, and then a shelf. But yep, this is, I guess you could say, the garage. And then out here, we have a visitor. Hello? He's dead. Okay, out here we have a little shed with some more storage, and then a singular log outside. But this is the main office. If we go on in, we have the receptionist over here and a little seating area for people to wait to get their paperwork or get their pay or whatever it is. And here is just a little room that connects to the front office. And then if we go on up these stairs, we have a hallway that leads to this room, which is more storage. A little closet, I guess you could say, and then it leads all the way up to the attic with a bunch of barrels and chests and whatnot. I like to imagine that this wooden slab is like a step stool or something, so that way they can reach the top of the bookshelf. And then over here is the office for the what I call branch manager. This is you know, the person that's in charge of overseeing all the work that goes around in the lumberyard, lumber mill. So this is his office. Very, very small, very humble, although he does look to upgrade to a much bigger office in the future. But yes, this is our lumber mill so far. This is our main office so far. I feel like we have been doing a lot of building over here. Let me go into free camp so I can show you guys. We have our lava farm cooking right there. But yeah, this is what we have so far. And I think that we need to add some buildings over here because, you know, it's looking very empty, and I think it would look way better if we add, I don't know, cranes or, you know, like I said, a water wheel contraption that cuts up all the logs and a way to transport them and carry them up and down the slope. So I'm going to do a little brainstorming and see what would look best in, you know, certain locations. And from there, we can get started on building what's next. I just realized that an Enderman took a piece of block from here, a piece of grass. I have to go patch that up. Okay, so we have our sawmill ready and completed. We have two paths here. The first path is where they take the logs, and the logs are then pushed onto this table here. We have a couple more piles here, but they are then transported from the carts to the top of this table, pushed down the table. They are cut by this sawmill that is currently being turned by a variety of of gears and whatnot. And then they're processed into these smaller logs and planks, which are then placed on top of this cart here to be shipped and put away. It's got like a direct, you know, line to our storage over there. And this is the interior. Nothing too much. A couple of shelves and storage. And then if we go on top here, we have a beautiful second floor with a lot of natural light and you know, some air to come through to cool down the workers who work in this building. But yeah, this is our sawmill so far. Let me go into third person so I can show you guys. This is our water wheel. Very simple looking water wheel. Took me a very long time to put this together, but I'm very happy with how it turned out. And with that out of the way, I think what I want to do next is add some more details. I think I want to add maybe some more piles of logs or piles of planks over here that are getting ready to be shipped up to the storage units up there. So we're gonna add some details and maybe another structure or two, or whatever I can think of while I continue to build. Okay guys, so I've added two new buildings here to this section of our lumber yard. The first one is a very simple one. This is where they put a lot of the planks that need to be transported away, either by boat or, you know, through other methods. So after the planks are you know, cut up and placed on top of this, you can either bring them up to the storage up there, or leave them here to dry out and to, you know, be transported to different parts of the world. Now this structure here, it's kind of funny looking. Maybe I'll like remodel it in the future, but basically this works as like a dormitory of sorts. We have the first floor. This is like the pub tavern-ish area, or where the workers, the woodcutters come to eat and enjoy a meal. And then here is where the chef cooks up a lot of their stuff for them. A little chimney going up there. and then we have a stairway leading on up to the second floor. The first room is just a extra storage room, and here is where people can sleep. Got about 6 beds. It's very small. It doesn't have a lot of stuff, to be honest, but you know, as long as you know, there's a bed, then there's a place for people to sleep. So that's what I have been doing this whole time. I've also kind of added this section here, so that way there's space for people to walk through, and some walls on the side here to prevent the dirt from caving in everything here. But let me go into FreeCam to show you guys how it's coming along so far, and I think it's looking fantastic. The only thing that we really need to add is stuff on this part right here, because it looks very, I don't know, it looks very empty, to be honest, and I think we're gonna need a lot more cool stuff to leave out over here. Maybe a building or something, or some more pallets just to decorate the area a little bit more. So I'm gonna do a little bit of brainstorming and chopping down some more trees. We have some more oak wood growing over here, and then these birch woods I should also chop as well. So we're gonna do a bit of resource gathering for a little bit longer, and then we are gonna start work on this part of our lumberyard. Okay guys, it is day 100, and now it is time to give you guys a full-on tour of everything that I have built. This is a very, very ambitious project, and I'm glad that we finished it for the most part. Maybe we'll add some new things in the future, but you know, little things that I've added are these decorations like boulders and bushes and firefly bushes. Earlier I've added these pallets here on top of this kind of mound, I guess you could say. There's an extra spot for wooden planks to go. And then I've added this fence because I like to imagine that this was an area that caused a lot of accidents in the past. Like people were stumbling down this path to reach the docks here, and somehow they fell and they rolled down the hill and banged their heads on one of the rocks or fell into the water or something like that, okay? And then I've added another section here just for logs to stay. And then that is the part of the lumber mill towards the beginning of the path over here. And then if we go down this way, I've added a few more interesting tidbits like a wagon, you know, logs out here, a bucket where you can put, you know, stuff inside of, nothing too much. And then this is one of the newer buildings. This is where I would like to imagine the workers put the carts in. You know, after they're done using them, they bring them inside and place them right here. We have a couple of shelves for maybe parts for the carts or, you know, extra storage. And then this is like a workstation area where they can fix the carts and stuff like that, or, you know, they can do quick repairs. And then we have a second part to it up here, a balcony, where it's just more storage and more barrels and chests. So that is the cart warehouse, I guess you could say. And then we have a new building here, but let me go over this real quick. This is like an outdoor workstation, I would like to imagine, where they're fixing stuff or putting stuff together. A couple of barrels for decoration, a small wheelbarrow to, you know, load up the wheelbarrows with planks and sticks and whatnot. And this is one of my favorite buildings. This is like an actual repair station. This is where they repair, like, you know, carts here. As you can see, they've disassembled this piece. They disassembled this entire cart and the wheels are on the floor or leaning up against it. And then we have a little bit of a workbench over here, a hammer or something like that. And this is the wheel they're working on because it's missing one wheel. This is the one that's causing a bit of an issue. So they're putting it together, the workers. Some coat hangers, and this is a very important building because it has a lot of the tools, you know, like that you'll need to you know, function and do your job out on the lumberyard. And then we have a small balcony up here that you know, it's just used for extra storage. So these are the two new buildings. And then over here, here's the sawmill, the very, very, very beautiful sawmill. Got a bunch of logs here getting ready to be processed. The sawmill right here, the actual water wheel here. And then in here is where they process the logs, turn them into planks to be carted up all the way up this hill. And then we have a little building here. I guess I don't know what to really call it, but this is where they also store more of the planks and long wooden boards that don't really have a place to go and are being ready to be shipped. And then, like I said, this is the water wheel. Let me go into pre-camp so I can show you guys. This is what it looks like. Pretty nice, pretty nice. Took me a long time to put it together. And then if we go up here, we have ourselves the dormitory. A random wheelbarrow here that someone brought over here for some reason. This is the first floor. It's kind of like a tavern, kind of like a bar where, you know, workers can come and relax and hang out and socialize with each other. Got a kitchen in the back with 3 furnaces because, you know, these are very hungry people who work here. And then if we go up this set of stairs, we can reach the second floor. This room is just a small little closet with a shelf to put stuff inside of. This is the actual dorms. This is where they sleep. We got about 6 beds, so people can fit on there, and, you know, climb up to the top bunk. It's very small. They don't really have a lot of accessories for people to use, but it's just a good spot to take a nap if you need to. So that is the dormitory. And then I don't even believe I showed like the first building here, which is one of the first buildings that we created. This is the processing, I don't know, processing warehouse, I guess you could say. They put all the planks up here. We got 3 saw blades running at all times to push all these logs to be turned to planks. A couple of storage right there, some more storage up there on the balcony, and in here is kind of like an office where they store the records. You know, maybe they write down who is doing what job and whatnot. And this is what I would like to imagine as, you know, planks and wooden boards. I haven't removed my chest in my bed yet, but you know, who cares about that for now. And then we have one of the more obvious things, which is a very large storage unit. This is where they store all their logs. You know, I've seen one of these in real life before. I don't really even know what they call it, but I guess big shelves, I guess you could say. And they stuff and push all the logs in there, and they get stacked up on top of each other. So we have oak and birch, and then behind here we have more planks and wooden boards that they stack up, you know, one by one and fill up to the brim. And then this here is my tree farm. This is kind of hard to see inside what it looks like, but basically it functions as a tree farm. We have a birch tree farm here, a little better because they always grow to 2 blocks high, and you know, they have been very useful for me to harvest all my trees and logs without having to chop down any more of the natural trees. Then here is the main office. It's kind of tucked away at the back of these storage units. Out here we have ourselves a little garage where they repair more tools and you know, provide equipment and whatnot for the workers to come and do their own repairs. And then inside it'll lead us to the front office. This is the main receptionist. They, you know, store a lot of the records here. They sit here and give out pay to the workers. If they didn't enroll in their payroll, they have to come here and, you know, cash a check every day. And then up here leads up to the second floor to a hallway. Over here is what I like to call the branch manager's office. This is the head person, the head honcho in charge of the whole, you know, lumberyard lumber mill. Yeah, he does a very important job. This is just a little closet to put more records and storage. Up here is just an attic, mainly for storage. Nothing too fancy. But yeah, that is the branch manager's office. Very cozy. It looks almost like a suburban home, if you're asking me. But yeah, that is the end of our 100 days video. If you liked it, please leave a like and subscribe, and you might enjoy the video that is on the screen right now. And I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching.